Jennifer Hudson's life has never been defined by ease. Her resilience was not learned through minor disappointments or temporary heartbreaks, but through losses so devastating that they permanently reshape a person's soul. She is not merely strong, she is forged. The kind of strength she carries comes from surviving pain that would have completely shattered most people. Pain that doesn't just break you, but rebuilds you into someone unrecognizable from who you once were. And just when it seemed like Jennifer Hudson had finally found peace, real peace, when she appeared to have discovered love again, something quietly fell apart. Not loudly. Not publicly. But in the most familiar way, heartbreak returns to those who have already suffered too much. Because Common wasn't just another man in her life. He wasn't a rebound. He wasn't a distraction. He wasn't a fling. He was the one who said all the right things. He spoke about healing. He spoke about growth. He spoke about eternity. He spoke about love as if it were sacred. He convinced her, gently, patiently, that love could be safe again. But sometimes, the people who use the most beautiful words are the ones who leave the deepest wounds. And now, behind the red carpet smiles, behind the controlled interviews and graceful silence, the truth has slowly begun to surface. A truth about what really went wrong. About who was truly hurting. And about why even a woman as powerful as Jennifer Hudson eventually chose to walk away. This is not just a celebrity breakup story. This is a story of survival. And the deeper you go, the more heartbreaking it becomes. Before the fame, before the applause. Long before Jennifer Hudson became a global name, before the Oscars, before the Grammys, before the standing ovations, she was already known for one thing above all else: survival. On the surface, Jennifer appears unstoppable. A Grammy-winning vocalist. An Academy Award-winning actress. A talk show host. A cultural icon. But behind the spotlight, behind the polished smile, her life has been marked by unimaginable tragedy. In 2008, Jennifer Hudson's entire world collapsed. In one violent, horrifying act, she lost her mother, her brother, and her 7-year-old nephew. All at once. One moment, her life existed. The next, it was gone. It was the kind of grief that silences people permanently. The kind of loss that breaks spirits. The kind of trauma that many never recover from. Jennifer disappeared from public view for months. When she finally returned, the world saw strength, but what they didn't see were the walls she had built just to survive. She chose not to let the pain define her. She chose not to let grief end her life. She chose to sing through it. Music became her survival. Her voice carried her through loss. Her grief transformed into purpose. She didn't just survive the ashes, she rose from them. The love that looked like healing. Eventually, Jennifer found what appeared to be stability with David Otunga. Their relationship seemed solid from the outside. They got engaged. They welcomed a son together. To the public, it looked like Jennifer had finally found peace, but behind closed doors, the story was very different. According to Jennifer, the relationship became controlling. She accused Otunga of emotional manipulation, jealousy, and using their child as leverage to monitor her. The situation became so serious that she filed for a protective order, citing fear for her safety and her son's well-being. The headlines came and went. But the trauma stayed. Even though Otunga denied the accusations and was later cleared legally, Jennifer still carried the emotional scars. Once again, love had turned into fear. Once again, trust had cost her safety. Yet still, she showed up. She worked. She smiled. She endured. Because that is what Jennifer Hudson does, when Common entered the picture. So when whispers began that Jennifer Hudson and Common were growing close, fans didn't just feel excitement, they felt hope. This wasn't gossip. This wasn't scandal. This felt different. They weren't just celebrities. They weren't just co-stars. They were survivors. Both had histories. Both had depth. Both spoke the language of healing. People believed, truly believed, that this time might be different for Jennifer. She wasn't chasing love. She wasn't rushing. She was choosing. And the way she smiled with Common wasn't loud or performative. It wasn't flashy or forced. It was quiet. Soft. Almost cautious. Like someone who was learning how to trust again, slowly. This didn't look like a rebound. This looked like a grown woman choosing love on her own terms. And because Jennifer Hudson does not choose lightly, people paid attention. If she trusted him, fans believed he must be real. The man who says everything right. Common appeared to be everything Jennifer needed. He was spiritual. He was poetic. He spoke about love as if it were divine. He was the kind of man who meditates, writes poetry before dawn, and speaks publicly about honoring Black women. On the surface, he looked like the dream. But there was something else about Common, something fans couldn't ignore. A pattern. Taraji P. Henson. Erykah Badu, Serena Williams. Angela Rye. Tiffany Haddish. Ava DuVernay. Strong, accomplished women entered his life one by one, and quietly exited one by one. Each relationship began with admiration, public praise, affectionate interviews, and hope. And each ended the same way, quietly, vaguely, respectfully, with no clear explanation. Eventually, people stopped asking what went wrong. They started asking why it kept happening. The admission that changed everything in a rare moment of brutal honesty. Common once admitted something that made people pause. He said he struggled with love addiction. Not sex. Not intimacy, but the feeling. The rush. The butterflies. The excitement of being wanted. And when that feeling faded, he faded too. He claimed he was working on it. He said he was in therapy. He said he wanted to grow. And maybe he meant it. But healing isn't measured by interviews. It's measured by how many hearts you don't break along the way. By the time he met Jennifer Hudson, that pattern was already established. And commitment, real, consistent commitment, had always been the missing piece. Why fans were worried. So when Jennifer and Common became official, there was joy, but also concern. If he couldn't stay with Taraji. If he couldn't stay with Serena. If he couldn't stay with Tiffany. Why would this be different? Why would Jennifer be the exception? Maybe she believed therapy had changed him. Maybe she believed growth had finally happened. Maybe she wanted to believe that even men with patterns could evolve. But sometimes, a pattern isn't a phase. Sometimes, it's the truth hidden behind charm. When love felt real, for a while. When Jennifer Hudson and Common first appeared together, the chemistry was undeniable. Their connection felt genuine, not manufactured. Fans noticed stolen glances, subtle intimacy, and comfort that can't be faked. They didn't rush to social media, they didn't perform their love. They lived it quietly. Their joint appearances felt natural. Their interviews felt sincere. Their energy felt calm. Common called their relationship a blessing. He spoke about growth and partnership. He said Jennifer pushed him to be better. And for Jennifer, the most important thing wasn't being admired. It was feeling safe. After everything she'd endured, Common made her feel like she could breathe again. The silence that spoke louder than words. But then, something shifted. The warmth cooled. The closeness faded. The silence grew louder than any interview. Insiders began to talk. They claimed Common had started making dismissive remarks behind her back, subtle comments, not cruel, but distancing. When Jennifer Hudson hesitates in love, it is never because she lacks the ability to love. It is because she has already loved deeply, and paid an unbearable price for it. To understand why Jennifer may have emotionally withdrawn from Common, or why she may have declined a proposal altogether, you cannot rely on red carpet smiles or radio interviews. You must look at her history. You must understand the trauma she survived long before Common ever entered her life. Because Jennifer Hudson does not fear love. She fears repeating loss. Trauma does not disappear when love arrives. Jennifer Hudson endured one of the most devastating personal tragedies in modern Hollywood history. In 2008, her mother, her brother, and her 7-year-old nephew were brutally taken from her in a single act of violence. That kind of trauma does not heal with time alone. It rewires you. She disappeared from public life, not for publicity, but because her entire sense of safety had been destroyed. When she returned stronger, but also guarded. Strength became her armor. Silence became her boundary. Then came her relationship with David Otunga, which initially felt like stability. But behind closed doors, Jennifer described a pattern of emotional control, jealousy, and fear. She stated that he monitored her, overwhelmed her with calls, and used their child as leverage. She sought protection. She chose safety. She survived again. So when someone like Common appeared, soft-spoken, reflective, spiritual, it is easy to understand why Jennifer might have felt hope, but trauma does not vanish just because a man speaks beautifully. Sometimes hesitation is not fear of the person in front of you. It is fear of what you stand to lose if you are wrong again. Jennifer truly declined Common's proposal. It was not rejection rooted in indifference. It was wisdom. After everything she had survived, Jennifer had learned that peace is not something you gamble for, not even for love. Marriage, for her, wasn't about romance. It was about safety, stability, consistency. And if something in common felt emotionally unstable, the disappearing acts, the inconsistency between words and actions, the subtle distancing, then her hesitation was justified. Because the love she needed wasn't poetic. It was dependable. And when hesitation is met not with reassurance but with withdrawal, distance grows. That distance may have confirmed everything her intuition was already whispering. So she didn't fight. She didn't argue. She didn't beg. She stepped back. The quiet breakup. There was no public announcement. No dramatic interview. No podcast confession. Just silence. In an industry where breakups become marketing opportunities, Jennifer Hudson chose restraint. Because she had seen what love wars look like. She had seen how trust turns into spectacle. She had no desire to relive that trauma publicly. So the relationship ended the same way it lived, quietly. No blame. No theatrics. Just distance. At first, Jennifer Hudson and Common appeared equal, two celebrated artists, two respected names. But over time, something shifted. Jennifer was rising. Her talk show was thriving. Her music legacy remained untouchable. Her acting career continued to earn respect. Everywhere she went, she radiated confidence and control. She had found her lane, and owned it. Common, meanwhile, remained respected but less central. His recent work had not carried the same cultural weight. He was no longer the focal point of the room. And according to insider whispers, he noticed. Jennifer became the bigger presence, the bigger name. The one brands wanted. And for a man accustomed to being the voice of wisdom, the guide, the center, that shift can be unsettling. He skipped her events. He stopped publicly celebrating her wins. He became distant, not angrily, but quietly, because sometimes when a man says he wants a strong woman, what he means is, as long as she doesn't outgrow me. Jennifer refused to shrink. There is no evidence that Common was overtly jealous. But insecurity is often silent. It shows up as withdrawal, as disengagement, as emotional absence. Watching Jennifer no longer need him, no longer rely on his wisdom, his presence, his reassurance, may have triggered something he could not admit. Not resentment. Not bitterness. But fear. The fear of becoming unnecessary. And relationships don't always end in explosions. Sometimes they dissolve when one person grows and the other stalls. Who was really heartbroken? Was Common the heartbreaker? Or was he quietly heartbroken himself? Was Jennifer protecting her peace? Or was she walking away from intimacy? The truth is complicated. Jennifer did not leave because she stopped loving. She left because she refused to lose herself. She had already buried too much, sacrificed too much, survived too much. She was not going to gamble her peace to preserve someone else's comfort. And Common? Perhaps he wanted love, but not the responsibility that comes with sustaining it. Perhaps he loved the idea of Jennifer more than the reality of standing beside a woman who no longer needed saving. The grace of walking away. Jennifer Hudson did something rare. She left without demanding understanding, without issuing statements, without asking for sympathy. She chose grace. Because when a woman who has survived the worst pain imaginable walks away quietly, it is not weakness. It is mastery. She understood that she owed no one proof of her worthiness. No performance of pain. No explanation. She had already survived enough wars. This isn't just a celebrity breakup. It's a human story. About loving after trauma. About choosing peace over performance. About recognizing when something beautiful is no longer safe. Sometimes two people want love. Try for love. Speak the language of love. And still fall apart. Not because they are broken, but because they are not aligned.